now I'm going into the camera control again. Because for whatever reason, I don't know, something. Nope. Maybe that's not what maybe I wanted a little bit of that and then a little bit less of that. A little bit more of that, a little bit less of that. Maybe I like that better. I've been going at it with this camera and it still feels, I don't know. Oh my goodness. Good morning. Yes, I am back from Hawaii. Ooh, it's like a weird, like, it's like, oh, it could be the light of the camera that's coming in weird. I'm not messing with it anymore. I'm not messing with the camera. Maui was great. I got back on Monday midday. So yeah, big day. And the color balance is so weird, so I don't even think you can tell, but I definitely have a lot more freckles. And I managed to not get sunburned, but it was really, really amazing. And so, yeah, I'm glad to be back. Oh my goodness, I am the one thing from it is that I am exhausted coming back, getting ready for the holidays and getting ready for Hanukkah, including the Hanukkah special. I'm like, what is going on with there's like a weird, is it reflecting? What if I go like this? Yeah, there's like, it could be like a light. That's actually way better. That's way better. So this particular camera has a little ring light on it, and I had that on like as bright as it could go, and I think that the light was like interfering with the lens of the camera, and so it was making everything weird. But I guess this is okay. We're going with it. We're going with it. But hi everyone, I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and today we've got a bit of a lot of stuff to do. We've got a big stream. We are going to be doing another step from the November ChemKnits Dialogue, which I guess will make it a November/December ChemKnits Dialogue. I will try to post a photo for December/January, but then I'll do that stream sometime in January because there's not that much time left in the year, and Hanukkah is going to take up a lot of that. So I think we will eventually, assuming that there's still time, try to paint on this blank that we dyed in the last live stream. We are going to unbox the, it's December, right? December 2020 Paradise Fibers Fiber of the Month Club. This they send to me for free every night. I do have every night. That would be great. Every month I do have an affiliate link, which is in the description. But I do get this free as PR. So this will be coming in. I'll be unboxing that. And then I have one. I think that's, yes. Okay. And two boxes from KnitPicks that were part of my purchases from the big sale. Now, I am a KnitPicks affiliate, but I did purchase these things myself. I spent my own money on it. So that's not PR, but I do have a relationship with the company. So I want to disclose that. Yeah, so we're going to unbox, then we're going to dye, and as I dye, we'll probably talk about the fact that KnitCrate closed. They announced it, Monday? And the websites are down. Instagram's gone. Facebook's gone. They are closed. And so, yeah, I guess, like, man, I was surprised but not surprised, because I know they've been struggling for a couple of years, but I was still really surprised because of like communications I'd had. So yeah, I mean, like there was a communication they sent out to everyone when they got really behind about a year ago, when they were like really struggling to meet things on time, when it was like, okay, are they going to close? But then things got better, it seemed, but they've closed. So I will say, I believe that December crates for people will still be shipping out. But if you are owed a refund or anything, I would try to get a chargeback with your credit card or with your bank or PayPal as soon as possible if there was something that was unfulfilled. And I don't know if there will be success with that, but that's what I recommend, because there's no way to reach out to anyone like through KnitCrate channels anymore. But I will talk about that probably as I'm dying. And I do also want to add that please be kind to any former KnitCrate employees or staff, people that worked there, because sometimes, a lot of times, staff members don't have control over how things go down. And so, yes, there are people that work there that I am friendly with, that I like a lot. And so I don't think there's ever been anyone that I've interacted with through KnitCrate that I haven't liked. This organization, sure, but I've had high opinions and, you know, of a lot of the people that have worked there that I've dealt with directly. So, yeah, I guess, like, I don't think that they are able to help you at this stage, because I think the company has been handed over to, like, creditors. So I think, yeah. But yes, don't go trying to tag the personal accounts of former employees, because I don't think, I mean, they won't be able to do anything to help you, you know? And so hopefully they are only receiving, like, nice communications, because they're also limited in what they were allowed to say and things. So I'm sure. Yes, it is a shame. I'm bummed. But I'll talk about that later. Let's do happy. Let's start off happy with Paradise Fibers. And so the packaging this month gives us a very, very happy suggestion of what it could be. Now, I don't know if it's going to be Starry Night themed. It could be impressionistic themed. It could be painting themed. It could be star themed. But it also could just be directly Starry Night. So I don't know, but this is a big hint. I like that the packages give a little hint. So this is a spinning fiber crate that has 6 to 8 ounces of unspun fiber every month. Ooh, they have some mystery fiber bundles. Oh, it's sold out. I was just going to their website. To double check the pricing. Yeah, and so the Fiber of the Month Club starts at $34.99 a month if you live within the continental US, and then it gets a little more expensive if you're in Alaska, Hawaii, or live outside of the United States. But shipping is included, and they usually ship, I would say, the first week of the month. So, all right, let's open this. Is it taped? I don't want to, okay, it does feel like there's extra tape this time on it. I guess I'm going to have to rip it. Oh, I see a little moon. And, ooh, okay. Starry, Starry Night. Da-da. And unfortunately, I saw, because I pulled this out first, I saw a spoiler, which I'm not going to look at. We're not going to look at that. Okay. Let's get on to the fiber, and then we'll read more about what's in it. Okay. Ooh, we've got a nice, big, reusable zipper pouch. The hilarious thing is I have some pouches just like this. My kids use them for, like, clean masks at school and stuff. And so that's funny. I tried putting labels on them at one point, but it didn't work. But I do love a great zippered container. That's great and reusable. And wow! Oh, I mean, it's even got the, like, swirl. That is awesome! That is so pretty. This is so soft. I cannot wait to see the fiber content. I'm looking to see if there's anything I can tell. Sometimes I've been getting better at being like, there is something with, like, it's not like Stellina or something. There is, like, a slight shimmer. Ooh, and we've got Ooh. Oh. Okay, wait. So we've got our goodies here. So we have this, and I'm like, okay, there's no stellina in it. But look at this bag. See what I see sticking out the top? I think that we've got some Angelina or something in these bags. Okay, we're going to peek because I saw some. This looks like, ooh. Okay, this is a light blue iridescent. So it leans, the sparkle leans a little bit green. I don't think that's going to show up on camera that it's like a different color. But I would say that it's an icy blue with like, is there almost a little yellow pink? The sparkle like gives a little shift of color. Okay, so that's one of them. So you can add it in yourself as you're spinning. And so I've never done this before, but as you're spinning, like as you're drafting, you can just put a little bit of the sparkle fiber on and so like control the placement. All right, and then, ooh, this is like a navy and the sparkle leans a little bit purple. A little bit, okay, maybe not purple. I would say it's a bit of a navy with like a more of a royal blue and a little bit of a slightly green blue, like a purple blue and a green blue are the iridescents in here. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Sticker guess, Van Gogh. That's a good guess. That's a good guess. Okay, let me pull out. Oh yeah, especially because you can see there, Beth. I think that is a really, really good guess. Because here we've got a painter. He's got Starry Night in his pocket, and missing missing an ear. Doesn't feel appropriate to laugh. Oh my gosh. Let's see what other. We've got a lemon ginger tea. And we've got a blue bulb pin. Ooh, and this cute. Okay, this is a very cute charm. It's like a single stick drawing of a star with a swirl in the center. And so for like star and swirl, this is actually a really good representation of Starry Night. That was a good find. And the little bulb pin is blue. And you can see that the charm passes my dangle test because it doesn't get stuck. And so that is something I care about. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is really good. I really like the big bag. I think because if they stuff this in some of the kinds of bags I usually use, you might lose the spiral. There's a lot of this. Let's see what it is. Okay, this is 8 ounces. Oh, it's merino and bamboo. So this is the Starry Night merino and bamboo blend. 75% merino wool, 25% bamboo. And I think the bamboo is kind of what I saw has a little bit of a reflectiveness. It's not as reflective as silk, but there's a little bit of a sheen to it. Okay, so it says one. Oh, did I get 2? It says 1 glittering puff, okay, of wisteria and cobalt angelina. Oh no, I think you do get both. So I got the 2 little puffs of the 2 kind of angelina. The star stitch marker progress keeper, Van Gogh sheep sticker, the lemon ginger tea, and the zipper mesh project bag. Which the nice thing, again, because I've used like this type of bag before, and unfortunately I did see if I could like, I tried to on this type of bag to see if I could like put vinyl on it, but I struggled. Vinyl works on it, but it was hard to get it to stick properly, and so therefore that's why I haven't customized a bag like this. But the nice thing is that I think it is fairly waterproof. Like the zipper obviously is not waterproof, but if like this is in a bag, your stuff is a bit protected, which is pretty nice. But yeah, Beth, you nailed it. You nailed it. And so let's see. As you craft this month, we do recommend watching season 5, episode 10 of Doctor Who, in which the Doctor and Amy travel back in time to meet Vincent van Gogh and face an invisible monster that only the painter can see. This riveting episode is sure to inspire and delight. Cool. And if you have this fiber package, you can get 10% off all full price fiber purchases. Oh wait, no, they changed it. Okay. This month, so from now through January 5th, all Fiber Club members get 10% off all Paradise Fibers brand fiber, Malabrigo Rios yarn, Lisa McFederage's Winter Moondeer hat pattern, and all KnitCrate products. So that's more than just the full price fiber that has been mentioned in the past. Yeah, so that the code is on here. Gretchen says, zippers on my project bags scare me. I can see that. I think that I don't mind zippers as much on, before, I guess I like the zippers before I started knitting sometimes. I'll keep stuff in there. But I can see that like once you have the stitches, then yeah, the zipper could be a little scary. But let's see what we have here. We decided to brighten the long nights of the year with a combination of fibers with this blend, and then they have the sparkle to complement, and they have a pattern here. Okay, so the hat pattern that they mentioned there, that if you want to use it, there's a 10% off discount, and it looks like here's part of the hat, which looks wonderful and blown out. You can see those beautiful the beautiful color work there. I wonder what other yarn they're using. I see. This is why the discount goes this way, because they recommend using Malabrigo Rios in white for the hat pattern. And so they're discounting that for Fiber Club members in case you want to buy that and the pattern. But it's, you know, it's nice that it's optional. But 8 ounces of fiber is wonderful and like a really good price. I don't think that this fiber is on the website yet. Oh no, it is there now. But so if I was going to buy 8 ounces of this fiber right now, it would be $26. And that's not including shipping. And then there's the like other extras and the sparkle and things that are included. And so, I mean, I would say that there have been times when they've sent things that are worth way more what you pay, but Fiber Club members usually get the first dibs of a new fiber blend, and if you want more, you can usually get more before it goes on their website, which is really nice. Hi, I'm doing great. I'm doing great, but yeah, thank you so much, Paradise Fibers. This is so fun, and I love unboxing it. They truly, I said this before, especially with Hanukkah on the horizon, I would say that the Paradise Fibers, the like care and extras that they put into their packages really inspired me when I first started working on the Hanukkah sampler and wanting to wrap things in ways that would surprise and delight people. That was something that I really, really cared about. And so, and it's fun sometimes when I see like, I see what you got there. That's something I considered and whatnot. Oh shoot, I forgot to go pre-soak this. Let's go pre-soak this, and then we'll do the KnitPicks unboxing. Because the plan is to take this blank that I created with dip dyeing during the November live stream. And so it's this bright orange that goes through red, pink, and purple. And I should just share now before I go and do that. There it is. There's our inspiration photo, and so you can see the gradient. I'll have to fix this camera too, but I would like to try to paint, I might be ruining it, I would like to try to paint, I think, some kind of palm tree silhouette. And try is a big, big word here. Do I have the other one? I haven't filmed the recap yet. I did do sort of an abstract version, and this one started unraveling on me a bit in the live stream with some speckles here. And so I want to try to do it. We'll see how it goes. But so that's part of what we'll be doing today, but I do need to pre-soak it, and I want to add some vinegar. I just added a big old splash of vinegar in here, and we are just going to get this wet. Pre-soak it so that way it can be ready for me to attempt to paint on it. Now I've already prepped some guar gum. I think I mixed it up in a ratio of 1/2 teaspoon of guar gum in 1 cup of water. I think that's the ratio that I used. But now I'm going to want my hands to dry before I unbox anything else, because I don't want to make my yarn wet. So I forgot I was going to do that, because yeah, today we've got unboxings, we're going to do some yarn dyeing, and I mean, I'm not exactly going to spill any tea, because that's not the kind of person I am, but I can share some stories and stuff that maybe I haven't shared before. Okay, I'm going to put you over there. All right, we are dry-ish. Let's see what I ordered in the big sale, because I don't even remember. Now, I do want to note that these packages arrived fully intact. We're transitioning to KnitPicks now. Oh, but I should drop and I will share the tip that just came in the chat. Where is, here we go. Here's my Paradise Fibers link. You can add, yeah, so here's a tip for anyone working with yarn blanks. Just run a piece of scrap cotton through the live stitches at the end so your blank won't unravel. That is a really good tip. A lot of times the KnitPicks blanks, I have luck with them not unraveling, but once they unravel a little bit, then there's some weight there and that kind of keeps it coming. And so I don't remember if I accidentally unraveled this one at the point at which I did that. I'm pretty sure these were stroll blanks. The wool to dye for blanks tend to unravel more for me. And I'm going to add my KnitPicks affiliate link into the chat as well. But yeah, so Judy, thank you for that tip. Yeah, so unlike the last order, these orders came very intact. And so the last time I unboxed one, I mean, maybe this one has a little bit loose at the bottom, but I don't know. I think I may have also broken that myself. I don't think that it was wide open. But I did email KnitPicks, and not only did they apologize and say that they would pass it on to the warehouse, which I've heard before, but they actually gave me like a, I mean, I don't think I've used it, and I don't know if it'd still be good, but they gave me a coupon to use off of a future order, and they offered to replace anything that was missing or damaged, even though I said nothing was. And so they really like went big with the customer service, but their customer service has always been really good. I just want them to take more care in the packaging. So I always request for things to go in a plastic bag when I can. Even though, okay, I asked for things to be in a plastic bag, but it's not in a plastic bag. I thought it was, but that's just because at the bottom there's a bag I ordered. Okay, so we've got a KnitPicks card, which has got some of the gift tags we've seen before. This was a bag I said I ordered, but I think I already have, I have this one. I got all excited because I thought that there was a blue and it was going to have the like stockinette lining, but it has the crochet hook lining in. So I technically already have this bag. So I'll save it for something. Can put this back in here, and who knows, maybe someday I'll do a giveaway again, and this will be a part of the giveaway. Because I definitely already have that in that color. But I ordered that because I wanted, I think, this, the basic travel pack, and I wanted to know what was in it. So that's exactly what we're going to open up and see, even though it's way too late. Okay, so what were these cards? So these are just on cardstock. They're not laminated. So these are common knit stitches, with common abbreviations and then descriptions on how make one left and make one right. It gives like written descriptions on how to do that. And there's actually a QR code to scan that brings you to a glossary. And then there's a similar one for crochet with common crochet stitches. So, I mean, that's nice. There is a tape measure, a crochet hook on a keychain, something I do not have, a yarn needle, a yarn cutter on a carabiner, which I was very excited about, and some locking stitch markers, which are handy for both knitters and crocheters. So that's a fun little pack. I love that, and the bag I got was on super clearance because I wanted the freebie. Because, you know, that's the way that goes. Okay, let's see what I ordered, though. Okay, we have a bag here. We've got some Chroma Twist Bulky. Got a few of these. Did I order Brava Bulky? Why would I have done that? I guess I did. Oh, this could have been like $1, $2, $3 yarn day, maybe? I don't know. I got some Brava Bulky. I guess that means I was intending to dye some more acrylic yarn, something that I know some of you will be very excited about. I got some Shadow Lace yarn. I got some Wool of the Andes Bulky. This must have been $1, $3, $5 day. No, maybe, I don't know. I got some Felici in this color Double Dog Dare for over dyeing. I got also a cotton for over dyeing. This is Dishy Twist in, what color are you? Begonia. And then, I don't know if I was running low on this, but I got some more Imagination yarn, which I think that's a yarn line that now only exists in the bare form. They used to have a dyed version of it. So I have no idea if some of these yarn bases are like goodbye and then we'll be gone or what, but Imagination is a fun, what's the blend? It's merino, alpaca, nylon. It's very, very soft. So who knows? Let's see what I got in here. Yeah. Okay. We've got a packing slip. We've got another KnitPicks We Crochet combo card that has little gift tags on the back. And this is a little bit dirty, but we've got a bag of Hawthorne fingering weight yarn. A second bag, I think, of Hawthorne fingering weight yarn. I'm sure I asked for this to be in a trash bag. And since it was those bags from the top, I assumed. Okay, let's see how many blanks I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I got 10 Hawthorne. Oh, are these all Hawthorne blanks? Oh, because I think I bought straw blanks earlier in the week. I guess I got 10 Hawthorne fingering weight blanks. Because I think they're on goodbye, and that made me sad because I like them a lot. I wish that the blanks did not come each in their individual plastic bag. It makes it handy for keeping them neat for videos, but that feels wasteful. What else did I get? Is this more of the super bulky soft? Oh no, this is the Alla Prima. Oh, because they renamed it. This was like the Allay, the single ply new bulky yarn they have, and they renamed it. So this one is 52 yards per 120 grams. Super, super soft. Very excited. What did we get? I got some Gloss Decay. I got some more Shadow Lace. We got some Gloss Roving. I think that's another Shadow Lace. Okay, I did get some super bulky soft. This is what I made my hat out of. I got, I think, 4 of those. I got a bag of Hawthorne Decay. Can't remember I did that. I got some Cotton Boucle. And then some of the Rustic Fingering. This is a single ply fingering weight yarn It was this, it's just a superwash wool, single ply, that was a lot of fun. So I ordered some more of that, which I dyed that in a dye-along live stream before, but maybe that's it. When did I order this one? Of course, the new packing slips don't say when I ordered it, so I don't know. Now, I'm not sure. Oh, you know how I can tell how long the blank has been soaking? I can check the string, because that is the most efficient way to do it. Let's see. Nope. Okay, so that was about 10 minutes ago. Why don't I give it, well, I'll go peek, although I didn't mean to have two cameras here. Let's see. It's only been about 10 minutes. I do want, we'll give it a good squeeze. Good news is that there's no bleeding, so that's good. It's probably about fine. Well, let's go ahead and give it 10 more minutes. Just so that way I know that it's really, really well saturated. But once again, I am a KnitPicks affiliate, but I did pay for all that yarn myself. I don't know where I'm going to put it right now. My office, which whenever I film Talking Heads upstairs, like, it's sort of like a walk-through closet room, which now just has like plastic tubs of yarn just stacked. I outgrew it pretty quickly. I need like a new studio. I need to like figure that out. But yeah, I need to do like a major like reorganization, especially now that Hanukkah is almost all shipped. Oh, speaking of the ChemKnits Hanukkah sampler, there are only 3 samplers left. They are all in DK weight. I think I have the link pinned, and I will drop one in the chat. And if you live within the US, I wouldn't be able to do this for anyone international, but if you live within the US, I will. I don't know if it'll arrive. I don't think there's any way for it. It's Thursday. I don't think there's any way for it to arrive by Sunday. But if you order like this, you know, if you order today, then I might upgrade your shipping to priority for you, which is like a 2-day shipping. So, and I would try to get it out into the post office as fast as possible. So yeah, I would try to get it to the post office ASAP. Hello. But yeah, there's only 3 DK ones left. So, phew, there was a moment when I was afraid that there were going to be a lot left. And I was like, did I make too many? But if you don't know what I'm talking about, Hanukkah starts on Sunday, and every night, plus a few nights after, there will be a new yarn dyeing video. And the samplers that go along with the series have wrapped packages that you can open up every night. And so there's a 10-gram mini skein every night, a bonus 20-gram mini that will be one of the nights. Everything's labeled with the date, so you know when the appropriate video is coming out, so you know when to unbox and open and view it. And the whole thing is so much fun. I have been editing hard. I have finished editing 7 of the nights, which, given that it hasn't started yet, I'm on real good shape right now. Sometimes the editing is a little closer than I would like it to be. But I'm in good shape. 5 of the videos are completely annotated and ready to go. And then I usually, they'll all air as a premiere. And so hopefully on Sunday morning, I'll share a public post up both on my Patreon and on my website saying the video lengths, and then which nights I will be in the live chat and which nights I probably will not be in the live chat. And then there's some where if I'm home and or if my company's left in time or whatever, then I will try to be. Because yeah, we have some family coming on various nights for holidays and whatnot. But I'm very excited. I love doing, there will be a premiere regardless. So you guys can hang out with each other, even if I'm not in the live chat room, just talking about all the yarn and cringing when I notice editing mistakes, because that always happens. I always notice editing mistakes during the live streams, or the premieres. But once it has aired the first time, then the videos will be like a video on demand, so you can watch it like a regular YouTube video. It's just for the very first playthrough, it's like a TV show or something where it's live TV. Even though you can like go back and start at the beginning, if you click on it in the middle, it'll start in the middle, but you can kind of like backtrack a little bit. Anyone else trying to get presents finished in time? You've been crocheting like crazy. I was gonna make Keith socks, but I say that every year and it has not happened. I have some things that I'm hoping over break to finish up for myself, but this fall just felt really, really rushed. Really, really rushed. But anyway, I don't see how much time is on the timer, but I'm in good shape for the Hanukkah videos. So far, most of the videos are like approximately 30 minutes. Maybe some like up to 35, but they're all like a reasonably similar length so far this year. But again, I haven't edited night 8, but that should be around that range based on the quantity of raw footage. The bonus videos I don't know, and the vlog often is around, well, again, I don't know how much footage I have. The vlog tends to be long, but it's always hard to say because I don't know how much, it depends on how much I filmed along the way, and then that designates how long the vlog is. But man, people who like do daily vlogging and stuff, I don't know how you do it. But I suppose like I've been collecting footage for this for almost a year because I made one of the extras. I think I made it in January of 22 because I was so inspired. I've already done a lot of shopping and planning for extras for 2023. And I'm very proud of myself because I was very ahead of schedule in doing that. And also because there were a few things I needed to order some more of. And in that, I took the opportunity to order the ones that I wanted for next year. So I'm like ready to go there. Yay! Oh, I haven't done felting in a while. That's really fun. But yeah, I guess, I don't know when the timer is going to go off, but I thought that I would take a moment and say goodbye to KnitCrate because, as I mentioned, on Monday they officially closed. And they sent out the following message by email, and I think they sent it to everyone. At first I thought they just sent it to affiliates, but there was a post in my group soon after. And so here is what they said. Hi KnitCrate community, below is an announcement that you will soon see on our websites. We wanted to let you know ahead of time so you would not get caught by surprise. They only let us know about 12 to 24 hours in advance. We have made the extremely difficult decision to close down the business. Please note that all December crates have already been shipped. However, the December crates are the last ever KnitCrates going out. Below is the announcement in its entirety. It is with great sadness that we must announce the closing down of Craftio and its related websites, KnitCrate.com, DyerSupplier.com, Dyepot.com, and StashAlong.com. The pandemic and ensuing supply chain issues have negatively affected and continue to negatively affect the companies. Inventory and shipping delays have hurt our ability to operate and ultimately the customer experience. The current economic climate with rising inflation and the prospect of a severe recession is impacting customer demand across the industry. The company is now in a position where it cannot cover its operating expenses nor meet its debt obligations. Because of this, the company has been forced to cease operating, immediately close its doors, and surrender all assets to its senior secured lender. Thank you to our customers and community for your support over the years and to our relentless team members who have put their hearts and souls into our craft business. We are very saddened and sorry about this development. We are going to miss working with all of you. Signed, the KnitCrate team. Yeah. And so that's the announcement. And then very quickly, their website was gone. And the things that I'm going to say about the problems arising are either from personal experience or, as you might see on the chat, direct communication from some of you that are customers. So Julia just said, I'm still upset that they took my money on November 28th and never shipped my order. It was $200 and it's so frustrating they didn't refund or ship out before they closed. And so in that situation, I've told Julia this already on Facebook, but I would start a chargeback. Chargeback through PayPal, through your credit card, saying, listen, the company closed, the website is gone, and they never shipped my order. Now, they were running a big sale up through, I forget when, like even at the beginning of December, I think they were trying to sell as much inventory as they possibly could. I don't know if it has been shipped. I don't know. They did say they shipped the December crates. They didn't say anything about any other orders, and there's no way to contact anyone. I did email the CEO because I had some questions of my own, and yeah, and then I got an automated response. So I think everything has been handed over at this point. So let's see. You're sad about KnitCrate closing. You never got anything from them, but loved ordering from Dire Supplier. Yes. I don't think I ever purchased anything from KnitCrate directly, but I ordered a lot of things from Dire Supplier over the years. I'm coming back. We'll go start dyeing in a minute, and that's when I'll tell some more stories. I want to see what you all are saying. I've been part of a bank seizing the company's assets, and the bank gives you 0 notice. Yeah, I mean, the problem is, and this is something else I've heard from people, since the website shut down immediately, people who haven't redeemed pattern, like gone to the pattern and downloaded patterns from various times, including December. I don't know how they're going to distribute the December patterns, because technically you're buying the yarn and patterns. I don't know if that's going to work. But so there wasn't a time for people to go and download their digital assets that were stored through the website or that maybe they hadn't redeemed yet. And so that's the thing with notice that really, really sucks. I think it would have been better even if they said, sorry, there's 36 hours for you to download things, and then we're immediately shutting the website down or something. And so I don't know how the December crates are going to happen. So Emmy said she ordered something from the 70% off sale a couple weeks ago, and it just came yesterday. So there is a chance. Yes. Okay, so Julia said, I did a chargeback, but they were waiting for them to respond, which you doubt they will respond. It's a waiting game now. I know, it's hard. That's hard. It's interesting how they worked their business. Just recently they added new affiliates recently. So in November, they got a message saying that, like, oh, our shipping partners messed up and we didn't ship the November affiliate crates, and it's a shame because it's sold out. So there's nothing we can do. So we're going to work on trying to figure that out to get that fixed as soon as possible. I should see if I can find the exact language, because, and then 2 weeks later they shut down. So I realized I had it, and technically I have an order number for December. Because the company's gone, right? I feel. Hi, Rebecca. Important info. We are really sorry. It has come to our attention that the November shipment batch for our affiliates was never sent out. This puts us in a bit of a pickle since crates are sold out and it's the end of the month. We apologize for this. We are working with our fulfillment partner to see why this happened. For the time being, our affiliate crates will be paused. However, your referral coupons are still active. Once we are able to resolve this with our fulfillment partner, we will get back to sending out the affiliate crates you love. So, I mean, I think they knew they were closing down, but they didn't quite say it. And so I was just like, whatever, I'd rather it go to a customer than have them short a customer. Amy stated in a group that patterns revert back to the designers. You mean ownership of patterns? Okay. Yeah. I reached out to Amy to see how she's doing, but I didn't want to bug her with a bunch of questions or anything. Yeah, so she said that the patterns revert back to designers, which is, I guess, is that, wait, Melanie, is that for ownership of patterns? Like patterns that they sold to KnitCrate? I'm very interested in this because I have videos that, yeah, I don't know what's happening with that. And so that has me freaking out. So within the last few months, this is not the recent, oh, I can't say who asked me to test these dyes. The dyes that you guys all really want to know where they're from are from a company that will be releasing them. And so I will be able to say more about that once that happens, which should be soon. But like Rob from KnitCrate in September asked me to test out some dyes for them. And I did and gave feedback and then never heard back from him. So, and in the communications he said that they were still working on like bringing back dyer supplier, which I don't know if that is, I don't know what I can say about that. Like I don't know if he knew things were ramping down and that wasn't going to happen, or if he was still desperately trying to make it happen. So ownership of patterns revert back. So the second sentence that Melanie said, I am not going to repeat that because I have heard that. I've heard the chatter, but I don't know. I haven't spoken to any or heard any designers speak out about things personally. If ownership of patterns revert back to designers, does that mean? So the dive into dyeing videos that I made are still on the Dyer Supplier YouTube channel. I am assuming that that will eventually get shut down because Instagram was shut down, Facebook was shut down. Those all got shut. And I really didn't want to bug Amy about that and ask. But those are good videos that I want in the universe. And people that purchase the Dive into Dyeing course deserve to have access to those videos. So, I don't know. I don't know. But I do have, like, I have the original files and I have the edited files. So I have all of that. None of that would be gone if they take it down. So it's just, yeah, I don't know if they take it down, if I'm allowed to upload it or what. But I figure it out. So that's what I emailed Rob about. And then, of course, the email bounced. You think I'll get my videos back too? Yeah. And so, okay, if any of you watching, I'm not good at email and DMs, but I do have draft versions of the booklets. And so I have that. But I hope that there's no one who got screwed over and like was midway through the course and isn't going to get the end. But like I don't know, it was weird. I got paid for that in 2019. It wasn't launched until 2020. There were lots of things that were not handled easily, things that were made more complicated than they needed to be. But so I've been paid for those videos for a long time. And then any residuals are affiliate income. I think at most, I mean, for December's affiliate income thus far, they maybe owe me $10, which I'm not going to go after them for. I would much rather a customer that paid money get something than go after them for like $10. That's not worth it. It's really sad that it was right before the holidays. What are the contract? I'm not gonna speak about the contract at the moment, but except for the fact that the contract said the videos had to be publicly available and that they had to be on YouTube and public on YouTube. And it did say they were supposed to be on the Dyer Supplier YouTube channel. So I think that does protect me from whoever the ownership of the company is going to. I don't think someone else would then own those. So I'm wondering if it then reverts back to me. But yeah, I don't think anyone would fight me on it because the videos heavily promote Dyer Supplier. And so, like, if those videos are taken down, my plan, because as far as I'm aware, since KnitCrate no longer exists, ownership reverts to me. And so, like, you know, the licenses revert back to me. And so therefore I would film like a little intro being like, you know, this was part of KnitCrate's, the Dive into Dyeing course I did with KnitCrate. Fortunately, that no longer exists because they went out of business, but I thought the videos were good, and so here they are. And so I think I would film that kind of intro for each of the videos, and to just say, and then they could still exist. So that's my plan. Right, but the details, and I'm not speaking of other details just in case, because I don't want anything I say here to become a problem for me later. But the deal was, and this is something I brought up at one point, because they wanted to have the videos be behind a paywall, so that way only people who purchased Dive into Dyeing could get it. And it's like, I'm sorry, I priced things based on the way I did, based on these videos being public, because of the promotion for me as well, because I was specifically allowed to promote myself in the videos, and they had to link to me in the description of all of the videos, and they had to be publicly available, or 3 terms that I will say. And so, yeah, I mean, if they take the videos down, then I guess because they had to be publicly available, that's void, right? That's all I'd say. Yeah. But yeah, so the terms of the negotiation said specifically where they were published and how they were accessible. So, because that was important to me. And if they were going to be behind a paywall, I would have charged more. Because even though I wasn't going to get ad revenue, I was like, the fact that, like, I try not to do things just for exposure. And I advocate for, I'll start dyeing in a moment. Dyeing yarn. I advocate for all of you to not do things just for the exposure either. Unless like it truly is like a very mutually beneficial collaboration, perhaps. But I, you know, saw this as an opportunity for them to be promoting me, my name, and, you know, in their materials. Plus, if the videos were available on YouTube, then people might find me that way. And so it was just another way that someone might discover me. So, and so that I was fine. But yeah, I mean, yeah, certainly no other company has any permission. Like, there is limit, like, no other YouTube channel or brand has permission to use my face. So hopefully, but yeah, I mean, it made me nervous. Like, what if some like awful seedy person ends up coming back with, like, you know, purchase the KnitCrate name and comes back with it, and then, yeah, you know, that's what I don't want. But I think that the publicly available and on where they need to be hosted, I think those protect me. Okay, let's dye some yarn, and I can share some more stories. But while we're here, what do I want to do? I need to fix the lighting. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm going to bring this up. The group is gone. They had just changed the name. Okay. Well, thank you, Melanie. I mean, I'm very friendly with Amy. I like her a lot. I found dealing with her, she's extraordinarily professional, and I found her to be super, super easy to work with. And so I value that relationship a lot. I thought that she brought like a nice, because there were multiple different people I dealt with. And so Amy is someone that I support. And I mean, I don't, like, I have no weight as like a reference or something, but Like, I know she does tech editing and design, and so, yeah, I might see if there's something I can do to, like, help promote her going forward, because I've really liked and enjoyed, like, the conversations on the phone and whatnot I've had with her, so. All right. This is the top. Oh, before I lay this out, I have already protected my work surface with plastic wrap, and I've already made the guar gum solution. So this sock blank is a double-stranded sock blank from KnitPicks. It is 75% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon. And I guess it doesn't matter if some dye ends up on here. I am making a mess. Okay, we've got a cup. So I've shown this in other videos, but the way I make my guar gum solution, and this kind of ratio of a half teaspoon of guar gum powder in 1 cup of water, which I think is double strength, so I could add some liquid to this if I need to dilute it further. But I mix it up in my magic bullet. The guar gum is food safe. I use all food safe things. Then I transfer it into a new one of these takeout containers that then becomes a ChemKnits takeout container, and it will be stored forevermore with ChemKnits stuff. And so that's my separation of kitchen and ChemKnits. Let's see, we need this and we need some dye. I think I maybe used a blue in the live stream, but we're going to use a black now. And I get to show off something that's a little bit fun. So I used up in a video the last of my True Black acid dye. And so I'm going to put on my respirator mask briefly and safety glasses and gloves. So I will sound more muffled. Okay. And we've got a new jar of True Black acid dye here. The new one has a white lid. Oh, that's so full. And here I have an old lid that has the paint swatch on it. And so, because that's a good fit, I just transfer the lid. And I'll throw this one away. Or actually, I guess I'll hold on to it in case I crack the lid ever. That won't hurt. But now, I'm going to take, this is a fair amount of dye. But I guess we're dealing with the black. I'm going to close this. And we are dissolving the dye the best we can in here. And I think, because it's a little thick, I do want to add some water. And we can add more, we can always add more dye if we want. Just adding a bit of some tap water to make it a little bit more liquid. But what having a thickener in with the dye does is as we apply it onto a blank or something, it's not going to wick out and spread. It'll give us a much sharper line than what we otherwise might have. And so I don't know yet how I'm going to go about this. Like, do I want to have like a long trunk and then have some like leaves? Oh, now that I'm actually here, I'm nervous. Okay. Yes, I can say this now. Julia, Amy said yesterday in the group that the company was winding down to a close, but a plan was in place to give customers notice, and it didn't happen. It caught her by surprise, too. Since you said that, then I can say that because she told me that, too. But I didn't want to say anything like that she told me in confidence, right? Okay. So I suppose, how do I want to do this? I need to make this bigger, I think. I suppose I could also, you know what, maybe I won't do the tree. And maybe we'll just try to palm frond it. Except I really should be going the other direction. And I'm using a paintbrush today. Because literally painting. And maybe this is the way we'll do it. That actually, I like that. What does a palm frond look like? Okay, good. I'm glad she recommended. Yes, if you have an outstanding order and it has not been fulfilled, please file a chargeback. Because sometimes the credit card companies give you some amount of protection. Is that? Where do they come from? They go from and out. And I will say, one of the fun things as Indy Barks about being in Hawaii was watching the light through the palm fronds, and like the stars twinkle through them. Okay, I'm actually really liking this. I can do a few like palm fronds. Now, going the other direction, like doing that feels natural. Going the other way feels less natural. So we'll see. We'll try. I want to look. It definitely splattered some on there. And they're kind of across from each other. There's like, I should ask Lucas what it's called because in third grade they studied plants. Okay, well then later, if the Dyer Supplier stuff goes down, then I can ask Amy about the videos. I know she made videos for them as well. But it's different because she's an employee. But some of it was done under her independent name, so I don't know if it was with her as a like independent contractor or what. Okay, that's cute. Oh shoot, I forgot I was gonna film it. Oh man, I totally forgot I was gonna film it. Oh well. I was gonna try to film a TikTok / like a time lapse to have in the video, which I could still do, but I think I'm being inconsistent anyway, so I'm just gonna take a picture of this one because I like it. And I'll try to do, I mean, I could just leave it at one, but I'll try to do some more. I don't know how many I should do. Let me know in the chat how many you think I should do. We'll do one starting here. This one can go even further. This is really fun. I know I don't talk as much while I paint. I am not a painter. you know, it's funny because I definitely consider myself an artist, but I am a fiber artist. This is not a strength of mine. Painting like this. This one feels more sparse. I think I want to make these fronds a little thicker. But it also is giving off the like fraying at the end of some of these leaves. So that's cute. Yeah, it can be a little thicker with the dye. But yeah, I was just in Hawaii celebrating an anniversary with a bunch of our best friends. And so that was really, really awesome. Like, unbelievably awesome. At least 3. Oh, you think I should do one from the other side? I think I want them all to go from the same side. Because the blank goes back and forth, I don't think that'll cause an issue with the yarn. But that's the... I do see what you're saying, though. And I worry a little bit about doing 4. Because I don't like even numbers. Maybe I should do like... How much space do I have? So if I did one more here, if I did like one tiny one and then a big one. At least 3. So maybe I'll do like a baby one. Right here. Oops. A little baby one. And then I'll do like a medium one. And then maybe one that kind of goes off the edge over there. This one can be a smallish one. So 5. Because yeah, I like odd numbers. And this one's like even off screen a little bit. I'll fill this in more. Just starting with the general shape. That one I'll fill in. Then this one. This one will go off the edge. Oh, Indy, you're fine. There. Okay, I like that because it's not all like, they're all sticking out different amounts. It's like the cluster of trees near where I was staying, which I will probably share pictures at some point. But I did a ton of snorkeling and all kinds of stuff. But I just think it was funny because like when I reached out to Rob to like specifically ask about the videos, I also, to be fair, I also did say some nice things like, oh, thank you for letting me unbox this. You know, I'm so sorry to hear the news, blah, blah, blah. And I asked him about the videos because I'm like, since it was like his work email that I emailed, like I would never like text him personally in this time to ask something like that. But, oh dear. But then Amy, I wanted to reach out to her and see if she's doing okay because, yeah, I know, like, you know, having the company you work for and everything, like, go away is just hard. It sucks, right? That's so I wasn't gonna like Indiana. I was so afraid I wasn't gonna like what I was making here and that I was gonna ruin what I thought was a gorgeous gradient, but I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna take a picture and I'm gonna set up a steamer basket and I am going to talk to my dog. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Okay, Indy. Hey, I know, you know I'm streaming, so you're like, Mom, Mom. I know, and the powder's away, so you can be running around. Steamer basket. Need to find the right size thing. I haven't dyed any yarn since I've come back yet. Okay, where's the basket? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I've got the steamer basket heating up, but you can see how as I was painting on this, see how little spread there is. The dye is staying where I put it. It's not like if I was using just water and dye, it would have wicked out. I'm gonna zoom in before I wrap this up to show you. Let me see if it will let me. Here we go, settings. Video. Zoom. Is that all it'll let me do? Yep, okay, that's all it's gonna let me do. Fine. Okay, but you can see that the lines feel sharp. And that's because we have that guar gum in there. Oh, funny, it didn't, nope, it didn't reconfigure the video. If I could undo, it would change that. This thing used to zoom in a lot more, and I don't know, the software like changed. Oh, Angie, I'm sure their company emails are gone. I just tried, you know. All right, this is what I'm gonna do now. The steamer basket is not hot yet, but I can still start slowly rolling this up. Since there's not a lot of liquid in here, I'm not that worried about transfer, but that is something you often need to worry about. Now, I may end up, as I get dye on my knuckle, I may end up wishing that I had used more dye so some of these colors were darker, but I'm so happy with where it is, I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to mess with it further. And since the steamer basket isn't quite hot yet, it's not on a boil, I set a timer for 45 minutes, but otherwise I would say that probably 30 minutes would be sufficient, but I just wanted to make sure that there's enough time, and so that's why I set my timer that way. Hello. Here we go. Hello. Well, I can put my, I was wearing a white tank top earlier, and then I was like, if I'm gonna dye yarn, maybe I should put one on that I don't care about. Let me fix. This is the camera that sometimes gives me trouble. I had it on manual focus because it does that. So I'm going to try staying very still with my back against the wall, and maybe it won't give you any trouble. I hope you're so proud of this blank. It's really very lovely. I am very proud of this blank. I am so happy that it turned out the way it did, and that I didn't try to draw a tree, because I was also thinking about like what's fun but would also be fun when you unravel it. And so that was what was going through my brain. My brain. I know, well, I need to, hi Amy, I need to film the recap. That was one thing I didn't get done before I left. I was like, hi. I was so stressed out because we had Thanksgiving and then we went, and so that was hard. Okay, so Angie said, I wondered if since the company's social medias, etc. are gone, their website would be gone too. Maybe. And then I want to see, hi, do you have water or do you need water? I'm checking to see if the okay, so one person still had, you know, there's people who are unboxing KnitCrates in December. Interesting. Okay, I'm trying to see if the KnitCrate YouTube channel still exists. Site can't be reached. Channel. I do not seem to see. So I think there was a video I made on KnitCrate that's on KnitCrate's channel that was like an intro to dyeing yarn with food coloring. I should make a note of that. Me video made for Knit. Because there was, in May 2020, I was featured in KnitCrate in a very last minute decision. And the finished blank will be in my recap. So that video, I don't know how many views that video had. But it looks like the KnitCrate YouTube channel is gone, which surprises me that the Dyer Supplier YouTube channel has not been taken down, at least as of yet. Because if I search for Dyer Supplier, their channel still comes up. But if I search for KnitCrate, all these unboxings and everything show up. But yeah, there are people that unboxed December, so maybe it was just me that didn't get one. I mean, I don't think I have a shipping confirmation. Which is fine. I'm a very, very nice person. Yeah, I'm a nice, and like, I truly wanted them to succeed. Like, I wanted them to bounce back and to do well, and I felt like bad. And like, remember how bad things were end of last year when like they were over a month behind? Like, they were shipping November's crate in December and things like that. And so they were in this really, really bad rut, and like, because I think there was a problem with, there was just like 1 month of yarn that they didn't receive, and it was this huge mess. And it felt like this year they finally got back on track. But when they were going through that whole mess, there was a huge thing of them saying that they didn't have enough money to like buy the next month's yarn, and they were doing all these struggles, and there was all this, and like, I thought back then that they might go under, but since things seem to be going well, I thought that they might be okay. So maybe they were just recklessly optimistic. Yeah, so, I mean, I have no idea how long they knew things were going to be coming to a close and they were going to ramp things down. You know, I don't know if they have yarn, like, if they decided they weren't going to order any yarn for 2023, and so then they knew that this would be the last month. I don't know. I do know that one of my biggest complaints that I've ever had with KnitCrate overall was the fact that they did not communicate changes well with customers. And so if you didn't watch any of their live streams or anything, they never put information about price changes or box changes or things being discontinued in the crates themselves. And it wouldn't be hard to print one slip of paper on just printer paper and include it in and include a slip saying, hey, like, FYI, this is going to happen going forward. And then it tells people if they want to cancel, they can cancel, and things like that. And so that's always been a complaint. And I found that, I don't know if they thought that they needed to include too many extras. I know that when I was working on Dive Into Dyeing with them, it was originally supposed to come out sometime in 2019, and I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but I had all my deliverables, all the videos were done by the end of summer. So I hit all my deadlines just fine, and then silence, and I never heard anything back. And then they reached out to me a bit in May 2020 when, at that point, everything shut down because of the pandemic. Everything shut down, and so they could not get the yarn for May's box. And they weren't sure what to do, and so they had an idea of doing a Learn to Dye box, and so reached out to me to then feature me in it. And I think at one point they wondered about like sending everyone a bottle of jacquard dye and undyed yarn. And I was like, no, you can't do that because people can't get dust masks now because masks weren't available for the people who needed them on the front lines, let alone everyone else. And I'm like, a cloth mask is not acceptable for dyeing, with like commercial dye powders. And so no, I would not put my name on that, because they were wondering about using any of the videos I made for Dive Into Dyeing for that. And then I ended up making a video for them, but I was like, you have to pay me for it. I'm not going to give you a video for free. But a lot of people found me from that. And later, I mean, I never heard from like Rob, but the person who hasn't worked at the company for a long time told me that it was like a really successful month and people responded really favorably to it. And so I said, if you want to do this again with some other type of dye, I'd be happy to make more content for it and do something like that again, because it was fun. It was fun. But yeah, and so that ended up happening, and I couldn't even say that I had this whole Dive Into Dyeing thing, because like I think I teased Dive Into Dyeing because it was supposed to come out maybe October 2019, and so I thought that it was still on schedule, but then it kept getting pushed back and pushed back. And then it got reimagined. Because in the time since I made the videos and they released it, Dyer Supplier's logo changed. Like, there were lots of things that changed. Staff changed. People that I was working with changed. And so therefore, like, agreements, they didn't realize that, like the videos had to be public, that was in my contract. Because it was not the people I negotiated with originally. And so, like, there was a talk even at one point about, like, oh, it would be really fun to put in a bag so that the dyes could go in, and we could do, like, a KnitCrate and a ChemKnits logo. And I was like, and these conversations were happening, like, I think, like, a year after I was paid for it. So, like, long after I was paid, but I still, like, my name was on it, so I wanted it to be good. And I was like, well, okay, but I'd rather keep the cost of it down, because I don't want, each time you add something, it gets more expensive. And I think in talking with one of the reps, this was before things came out, because in talking, like, what is it going to be priced at? Because it was priced a lot higher than I thought would be a price point. And because a long time ago, I had a conversation with another company about something, them wanting to do something, and so I just know that they had a price point in mind for where they wanted things to go and realized they weren't going to be able to hit that. But that's all I can say there, because there I have signed an NDA. So that was many years ago, though. But with this one, like, I never signed an NDA, so I can talk. But yeah, I don't remember, like, what it is, but they basically told me their cost of goods for their yarn. And I was floored because their margins were horrible. Horrible. Like, I don't understand. Like I was like, oh, that must be like the wholesale price. Because I was like, what? That's the cost? Like, it sounded like they were telling me a price that like at the best wholesale price I could get the yarn for on their website. But I think what she was, and so I'm like, maybe because, and I don't know if KnitCrate was having to buy it from Dyer Supplier to make things work, but whatever she told me, I was like, that seems absurd. Like, you know, the margin is so tiny that, like, how do they make any money? And so I remember thinking that at the time. And so I'm like, oh, there's no way they could do this for the target I had in my head of what I think would be a reasonable price given the price of their knit crates and things like that. I was like, their margins were really bad. And so if that's the case, if it was a business that was driven by volume, any shipping price increase would just kill it. And so I wonder if it was a little bit like Michael Scott Paper Company. If any of you are Office fans, I'm going to go reduce the heat on the stove. And so Michael Scott Paper Company got a lot of clients by giving the best prices and the cheapest prices. But it wouldn't be able to scale well with volume. And so if the ability to make operating costs depended on the volume, but there wasn't a lot of wiggle room in there, then that gets really, really, really hard. And so I don't know. I mean, and then they were talking like, they were wanting to put all kinds of like extras into Dive Into Dyeing. And I was ultimately like, you know, I think it could be okay with, you know, just yarn, dye, and then sure, maybe like a set of gloves. Like, you know, and you tell people this is the equipment you need to get a mask. Like, but I was like, I think other things people can like find. I don't think you need to do it. And I don't know, so like I never saw any of the little extras that they put in there until they sent them to me. So like that wasn't stuff I had ever previewed. But, you know, I was just like, if all those, like, if you had a pair of gloves and then are going to charge an extra $1, like, then maybe just don't put in the gloves and say you need to buy the gloves. Like, you know, like, and so, and then I realized that they were getting in a situation where, like, I do think that there is value to the booklet and to my instruction in this Learn to Dye course. And I can understand why they realized they wanted the videos behind a paywall, because that's value in the course, right? But it was hard from the promotional aspect when, like, you could buy the dye and the yarn a little bit cheaper on their website. And so, I mean, I think it ended up being close, but like that was hard. That was challenging from my perspective. And so, yeah, because the timelines were so different. But, you know, and the other funny thing is they were going to put the videos on KnitCrate's channel, and I had no problem with that. KnitCrate's YouTube channel had a lot more viewers, and so I had no issue with that change. But when I brought up the like contract and how they were supposed to be public on Dyer Supplier's channel, they're like, okay, we'll put them there. And I'm like, all right, but it's a channel that doesn't have like subscribers, and so the reach was much smaller. But everything adds up. So shipping things from South America and customs, and there's so many variables. There's so many variables. And so, like, I really felt for them with shipping stuff. And, like, I don't think I had reached out. I don't know if I'd ever told, like, any of the people that still work there that I would do another, like, Learn to Dye one. That was before, like, Dyer Supplier shut down, which I forget when that happened. But I just remember saying, like, you know, if you need to have this in your back pocket, the thing I was recommending was Wilton. Like, we get a bunch of Wilton icing colors in those, like, Wilton icing tubs, which technically, yes, one of those is more expensive than a Kool-Aid packet. But if we get a bunch of like Wilton's Violet, or there's a couple other colors that break, you can have like an instant fun colorway that people can do in their kitchen. And like, again, it's all food safe, and it's really, really cool to see. And I was like, for something in your back pocket, I was like, I'd happily do it again. But yeah. Seems like putting videos up without a paywall would drive more traffic. I mean, that's the other thing. If the videos did well, which they did okay, like they did fine. They didn't blow up like the one I think that was on their YouTube channel, but like the videos did okay. Like over time they've amassed more views. But yeah, and like it's advertising for your company, you know? And so like, but you know, I can understand because it brings more value to like signing up for the course and blah, blah, blah. And so I was really, really excited because I felt like them asking me to do that was, I guess, making me feel like I had value in the community, because I don't interact with a lot of other people. I'm a pretty big introvert, even though I'm here talking live on the internet. But yeah, I was just like, you know, it meant that someone had value in my skill. And so I felt like, oh, maybe I'm not just flying by the seat of my pants. Maybe I do know something and can teach something. And the hilarious part is I know so much more now than I did then. And I think I'm so much more of a stronger dyer now than I was then. And so it's just fun to see the growth there. But yeah, so I was so proud and so thrilled to do that. I just, yeah, I was just very nervous because like there weren't negotiations on the price point beforehand, and I knew that some people would be buying it because of me. And I was like, how do I say that like my stake in it when it was released is just as an affiliate? So like, which like the affiliate terms are in general fair if someone's a new customer. If someone's a returning customer, the terms are really, really small. And so a lot of people who would sign up because of me might have already been a KnitCrate customer. And so I knew I wasn't going to make like a lot from that per se, but I've made a lot from being an affiliate with them over the years. But I was paid fair. Like, I probably could have charged more for the videos, but I like negotiated. You know, they suggested something and I gave a suggestion on what I thought I could be worth, and now I have that as a starting point before I do something else. And so, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing negotiation-wise. But yeah, I mean, I've never put anything, okay. I have some content that is like Patreon and YouTube member exclusive, which are the behind the scenes live streams. And those videos eventually, there might be a couple that are still in progress, but those are videos that eventually will become public. And so, because I wanted, again, dyeing to feel accessible to people, which isn't to say that I wouldn't ever do like a book or do a course that is behind closed doors or something, but like ultimately, like I like providing it out there, and so I wouldn't ever want to transition entirely to like a, okay, you have to subscribe to get the newest ChemKnits video, or like subscribe with a monthly fee for the latest ChemKnits video. I'd rather it be like bonus stuff, you know? So that's hard. Oh yay, I'm so glad that I helped like teach you how to dye yarn and stuff. And so, I don't know, I figured until KnitCrate got annoyed with me and me like complaining about their stuff, which like, again, I'm a positive person, and so I try to put a positive spin on things. And also, when you're not paying with your own money, it's easy to be really excited about something. But yeah, I just, you know, I was like, oh, it's possible at some point they're going to want to stop sending it to me. I really, really thought that. But But, you know, I was willing to give it a try because I'd had a good experience with them. And, like, my face was on their website still. And so I didn't want to, like, I don't know. Yeah, the making them free to the public was something I, like, and it was, funny thing was when it was originally negotiated, it wasn't a big deal. And I mean, there was nothing to keep me from making similar videos. There was nothing on my channel. There was nothing like similar or anything. The one main thing I did with those videos was I tried to keep them short to the point, and I left out a lot of my editorial comments. I tried to be just like really like straight to the point without the like, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I tried to keep it at the I know what I'm doing, concise, which I'm not usually good at. But yeah, I worked hard on it. I wonder, I'm now curious when I first reached out to them, because there was a point in time before Dive Into Dyeing was, oh, I don't know if I even have, I may not even have the oldest email. I doubt I'll be able to find it. Before Dive Into Dyeing, I had a phone call with Rob, and I think that this was something I've talked about before, just to like give my opinion on like things I would love to see with KnitCrate, and just general like asking for feedback. And so I was very happy to like talk with the CEO of a big company, and give my thought. And the thing I suggested was not a large dye course. I was like, you know, you have the distribution for a yarn subscription service. You should do a bare yarn subscription where every month, I don't know if you're going to get 5 skeins, 2 skeins of a different bare yarn base. You already have these mood boards. Send the mood board with that as like a dyeing challenge. And so you're not sending the dyes. People will have to pick if they're going to use food coloring or acid dyes and whatnot, but they can try a different yarn base to dye. And so, and then it's a great way to encourage them to go buy more of it from Dyer Supplier. So that was something I pitched, which I guess is why I'm glad that when they decided to do Dive Into Dyeing, they came to me, because I think there was time separate from that. And so, yeah, but that was something that I had pitched because, and like not to have any affiliation with me necessarily, but I knew I would be super excited to unbox that, and like it would lend really easily into like promotion, and it would be really, really fun. It's like, I don't know if that was even before I did the monthly dialogues when I suggested that, but, and then they did end up doing something similar with the mood boards and you know, people dyeing with Dyer Supplier yarn, then they promote some of them maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but that was a fun thing, a community building thing. So yeah, I don't know. But again, I am a very small business, and so I know what I can afford to do. So I don't know what goes into running like a big business like that. Let me see. You think that my SMSMS and Hanukkah videos are a great way to monetize your work without excluding anyone. Yeah, even those of us who can't afford to order the yarn get to join in the fun and share the joy. And that's why I do the vlog for those, and as I mess up my focus. Because I want to be able to like share the fun. Oh gosh, can you imagine if I put like the Hanukkah videos behind a paywall or something? That wouldn't be very fun. Like, part of the fun is that everyone can enjoy the videos, and I think that I have a video each night that goes with the yarn sets me apart from a lot of the other people that do advent calendars and stuff. I think I came upon a Reddit thread accidentally once. I don't know what I was searching for. I don't know if I was searching for myself or what. And so someone was complaining about yarn advent calendars. And then someone was like, oh, I got this KnitCrate one, and it's cool because it comes with like a video every night of how it's dyed. And the person who posted complaining originally was like, okay, that actually sounds kind of cool. And I was like, yeah! Like, I know not everyone can afford hand-dyed yarn. And I know that and also I know that not everyone wants to buy more yarn, and so that's why there's lots of ways you can support the content here. Subscribing is the biggest one, and subscribing is free. It just, I guess, takes your time. You have to watch and enjoy the content. Yeah, and so, like, I think that, you know, and certainly, like, no one else, potentially KnitPicks, but they don't have that many yarn bases, or they're not developing new yarn bases all the time. I don't know of anyone else that I could pitch, like, Bare Yarn of the Month subscription to. Like, and I don't think, like, Wool to Die For, I don't think that they need that necessarily, because they're one of the biggest suppliers of bare yarn for people. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. But I think that would have been so fun to unbox, and it would have been so exciting, and like, just like Paradise Fibers, they give a dyeing project maybe like 1 or 2 times a year, and I get excited by their stuff anyway, because there's a lot of variety and stuff. But yeah, then when there's a dyeing one, I get extra excited. That's fun. Oh yeah, hit the like button, everyone, please. And so, like, you know, oh man, I'm trying to think. Okay, so here's another story. So I was dealing with an employee from KnitCrate, and I guess they were let go because I emailed to follow up about something, and they called me and then told me a bunch of stuff. Like how, like, featured creators, some were getting paid, some weren't getting paid, like they weren't treating us all the same, and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't even remember a lot of the details. But I do, you know, they basically told me that, like, I should ask for more money, and, like, which, like, at that point I'd already been paid for Dive Into Dyeing, so, like, it's not like I could say, hey, give me more money now. But it was just funny that, like, this individual offloaded a lot of stuff. I could put my own starter box together and put it on Etsy. I've definitely thought about that. I wouldn't be able to do a monthly club. I definitely do not have the stamina or anything like that. I have thought about doing something like that. There are some rules about reselling things that makes me wonder, because, like, that makes me unsure if things are okay for me to do, but I've definitely thought about a little kit that I could put together. And so there's nothing, like, actually in the works. I've just thought about it. I've thought about it. Like, yeah, because, you know, like, well, it didn't help that the supermarket near me that before the pandemic had a whole rainbow of Kool-Aid doesn't have a rainbow of Kool-Aid anymore. But maybe that's something I will try to track down and see if I can make it work. It would be fun if I could, and then I could do, like, a little, like, pamphlet or something in there. So that is something that I have thought about, but it would be, like, food coloring based, not acid dye based. KnitPicks has a new manager who seems really interested in branching out and appealing to more people. A monthly ChemKnits video would be a great push for their bare yarn. They have a new manager, eh? You know, it's funny because I know some influencers. I don't call myself an influencer. I do definitely know some people who I see are sponsored by KnitPicks, like, and have sponsored Instagram posts from KnitPicks, and so I've never signed up. Like, they have a few different ways you can sign up for things, and I'm an affiliate marketer, which is a mega natural integration for me, because I'm like, I use this yarn, here it is. And even the unboxings, it's a very, like, hey, here, like, I'm sharing this, it's exciting to open. I love opening mail, and so that's fun to share. And so, like, when I'm using yarn in a video, it's easy to put in. And I always try, to the best of my ability, to link to any yarn that I use in my in my videos, whether or not I'm an affiliate marketer. I try to do that because, or whether or not it's a discontinued yarn and sold out. I try my best to share and be fuzzy and link to the company. I'm going to manually do the focus again because it's bugging me. I always try my best to do that, but yeah, I try to do that anyway. But with the, I wonder how it would feel if, like, because I've definitely done videos that have been sponsored by companies and sometimes small indie designers and other indie like fiber arts adjacent things. I've received opportunity. Gosh, there was once, they were like an art company that reached out to me and they wanted to sponsor me to share stuff from their website. And I was like, what about me made you want to work with me? And they're like, oh, well, send us like all your like details and stats. And I'm like, you reached out to me. I'm not going to share all my stats and stuff. Like, if you want to send me a product, you need to tell me a little bit more besides like this canned answer. And I'm like, because they didn't have tie-dye or anything. I'm like, do you want me to try to dye yarn with your markers? Like, I'm an art brand, but not that kind of art brand. And so I just couldn't figure out what they were looking for. But I've definitely had like people reach out and like be like, oh, test this lamp or test this something. And there's a small chance that maybe I would do one of those if it was something that interested me. The one that was the hardest to say no to was, there's a company, there have been some stuffed animal companies that I'm like, okay, my kids actually would really like that, but it didn't make sense for my brand. But one thing that I would have loved to do was, there was except for one big thing. It was one of those kinds of companies that will take a family photo or whatever photo you send and turn it into a building brick type thing where you basically make a pixelated image out of those building bricks. I'm saying building bricks because it's not Lego brand and not associated with Lego. And we have a policy in this house that the only building bricks we purchase are Lego. We don't purchase Mega Blocks or any other adjacent ones. Like we have magnet tiles and stuff, but those aren't, the like click little brick things have to be Lego brand. And so I wanted to say yes to that one, but I knew that Keith would not be happy if I broke that little rule. And the rule is only ever hard because I think it's Mega Blocks or something that has Pokemon sets that like Lucas would adore, but like they, you know, we're a Lego family. We have probably hundreds of thousands of bricks in our house. So Angie, but the issue I have with pre-sales is that I always want to make sure pre-sales are a gamble. And this is actually something that got KnitCrate into trouble once. They would pre-sell some yarn for upcoming crates before they had it in their possession. And there was an issue with, there was a batch of yarn that they never received because I think it was an Italian mill. The mill kept getting shut down and it never happened. And so they didn't have the money to refund people who had pre-ordered that. And so whenever I pre-order something, I always make sure I have the raw materials on hand and that I don't pre-order more than I think I can handle, and that should something happen, I would be able to refund people. So those are things that I try really, really hard to do because prices of things can change and whatnot. And so that's why, like, I try really hard. The closest I ever got was one time I placed an order for more yarn and then I opened up more pre-sale slots, but I trusted wool to die for. So, and I was like, and I think I had a backup plan where I could make the mini skeins or something if I needed to myself, which I didn't want to do, but I had that backup plan on hand. And so I think something sold out way faster than I expected, so I immediately ordered more yarn, and as soon as the order went through, then I enlisted more. Angie, that's why I didn't do that. But I could always do a small batch and then try to do more. But yeah, it's something that is just an idea. It's just an idea. And it's like, the other thing is like timeline stuff, like the enamel pins, that I made, that I adore. I would love to get more of them, but ordering 50 is only a tiny bit less expensive than ordering 100 because of the way their batch size and the pricing works with the company. And so I'm like, but I don't know if there's demand for 100 more of the same pin, the rainbow anodized pin that I had over the summer. But I wished, because I could have ordered, like, I forget how many I ordered, but I wish I had ordered an additional 50 at the time. And so I haven't done that yet. I do have a quote from the company. The company was awesome that I worked with. Do you watch Lego Masters? No, I haven't, but I've seen some Lego Masters builds at Legoland. She's a longtime employee who has returned to manage their yarn lines. I can look for the podcast when they reintroduced her. I'm assuming that she's the one behind the new wholesale scheme. It's funny because I've thought that they should do like wholesale for a while, and I'm just sad that they like removed the bulk 20 packs for retail customers. And so the closest that I've done to anything is when KnitPicks started, and I don't think they do their subscription anymore. When they did a subscription, I reached out to them and asked them to send me one to unbox. And so that's the one time I have specifically written and asked for a product for free from them. And then I was like, I'm an affiliate, like, I do all these other unboxings. It would be nice to be able to compare it and things like that. And so that was something that was done. But I'm not good about reaching out and pitching projects to companies. And that's something I wish I was better at. I'll be honest. I wish I was better at, like, not waiting for things to fall into my lap. Because, like, the KnitCrate thing, like, they reached out to me back in the day. Paradise Fibers reached out to me. Like, there's possible that there's some companies that I may have missed and may have been filtered out that have reached out. But, I don't know. There's a brand that I was testing dyes for that I should check and see if I didn't miss anything. I'm going to Google real quick. I'm looking to see. Okay, I don't see anything yet. No, but there was like a company that like reached out, and like the company that like I guess I've teased some of it because I was like, I want to test these out, but I need to make videos because I'm behind on my schedule, and so therefore I'm like, okay, I'm not saying the name of the brand, which I do hope to go find which those videos were and update the brand and color names once like the dyes come out. That is happening. That's not going to be shut down. That will happen. But like that was really, really cool. And like, I don't know, I'm not good about like, because you see all these like influencer in the wild things where like people reach out for free stuff, and like I know there's a difference between me making a whole YouTube video reviewing something and someone just making like a post on Instagram of them in an outfit and then like mentioning what the outfit is. There's a difference because like a dedicated video is really featuring a product or something, right? But I'm still like, I don't know, shy to do it. So I don't know. I haven't ever like, it's like I've talked about how like I'd love to, there was a point where I seriously considered writing a book. And it was back in my beginnings of like being really into Kickstarter, and I was like, I want to kickstart a book. At the time, it wasn't a yarn dyeing book or anything. It was a book. I used to design all these little like, I have all these little like caterpillars and butterflies and guys that I designed, and the patterns were for free on my website. But I was like, what if I get like actual good photos of them, write it in a like cool, fun, modular way. I had an idea of how a book could come together, and I looked into self-publishing and print on demand and things, and I had like a whole research and was thinking about like, okay, how could I do this? Because I was too scared to like talk to any people. wonderful. And the funny thing is, I have a friend who, like, has published a crafting book. A friend from, like our husbands were friends in college. Like, she was at my wedding, I was at her wedding. Like, a friend who has legit published, like, a beautiful looking book. In, like, a space, it's not, like, the same space, but she's done wonderful things, like building a community within that space. And so, like, I could totally ask her about it, and she would be happy to talk with me about it, but I'm too shy. Okay, I'm gonna write this down, Judy. It's cool. I'm gonna write that down for myself. Okay, I wrote that down. Thank you, Judy. Have confidence in myself. I'm amazing. Yeah, and I guess, like, I'm just sharing all this stuff just to show, like, there's many things I know and I do well, and I know my value, and I know, like, what I'm worth, I suppose, in some respects. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm just on my own island. The whole, like, other, like, dang knitting community is on, like, I don't have a bridge yet. And, like, you know, like, but I also, like, haven't gone anywhere in a long time. And, like, I need to reach out to, like, a friend of mine, because I would love, oh, no, you're sweet. You don't need to do that. You don't need to pitch me. But, actually, one of you, there was someone who watches me once who, the reason why I ended up with the spin dryer I did is someone pitched me to the company and, like, reached out to the company to introduce me to them, and suggested it, which was cool. They sent me the spin dryer for free, but then, like, then they discontinued the model, and so it was, like, a weird, very weird thing. But no, I can, like, I can do it. I just, it's funny because I'm, like, I wasn't aware that some of these companies that, like, I've noticed email me, like, that they knew who I was, and so that's kind of cool. But let's see. I wish I knew how popular this country it's. You'd pop into a local yarn store in your trip across the country and you'd talk about ChemKnits? Ah! So I do know, my mom had a friend who had a local yarn store, or has one, in Florida. And, which was a very, very cute store. I never lived there long enough, so I didn't go in a lot, but, like, I think, like, you know, she, like, asked if they could, like, take a sample from, like, one of my patterns or something, and I was like, oh, yeah. Like, you know, if people reach out, like, it's not an issue. I was just like, just please, like, direct them to my website, to, like, actually print off the pattern, because, like, at the time with the blog, I was like, there's now not very much revenue for, like, people just visiting, but there used to be, and so, I was like, that's why I had patterns for free, because it drove traffic. I know what you mean, and no worries about typos. I'm the queen of typos. But, yeah, and, like, she reached out because they were doing I don't know if they were doing, like, a monthly, like, gonna start trying to do, like, some kind of monthly subscription kind of thing. Just, like, a very, very small number. But she asked me to participate, which was lovely, but I also don't wholesale. This is how long I've been chatting. I can turn off the steamer basket. My margins, like, a lot of wholesale agreements for dyers and local yarn stores typically are 50-50, or sometimes they're 60-40. And when you're having your yarn featured in a local yarn store, there are a few different ways that arrangements can be set up. The store can buy the yarn outright, or sometimes there is a consignment deal where you still own the yarn and you only get paid when things get sold. And so depending on where you live and your relationship with the yarn store, those relationships could work really, really well. But I think that a wholesale relationship works best for dyers who dye at a volume. So if you have a steam cabinet, and so in one day, if you can crank through 200 skeins of yarn, suddenly the like margin of what you're getting per skein is a little bit better than when maybe you can only dye 20 to 30, and that takes you all day because you're dyeing in just a few pans out of your kitchen. And so wholesale never made as much sense. I haven't ever done wholesale in my stuff because it just doesn't make sense for me because I'm a small batch dyer, and the like, if you consider the time per skein calculation, because like technically labor is something you need to consider, like that, you know, that's part of the whole equation when it comes to pricing things out. I'm kind of a big deal. Aw. I did get recognized on the street in front of all my friends on the 4th of July, and that was really awesome. So I can be awkward in person. If you do see me and I don't seem to be like yelling at my children or my husband, you're more than welcome to say hi. Oh man. But yeah, like otherwise, like that, because I wasn't even wearing anything knitting related, but someone like saw me and then looked and heard my voice, and so that was so fun. That was so amazing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. These are all like musings, but KnitCrate, I think, was one of the very first companies to like invite me to join the affiliate network. I think because KnitPicks never asked me to. I think I was using their yarn in videos and stuff for years. I think it was even after my Kickstarter when I discovered I could have been a KnitPicks affiliate all along. And I was like, oh, you mean I could have been doing this? And so I think that was even before. I may have been an Amazon affiliate at the time, but I didn't think I knew KnitPicks had that. And so that's something that, like, choosing that brand was a genuine choice before there was any like financial transaction. I think we're all awkward in person. Yeah, I can be pretty awkward. But yeah, like I don't know, like it's not like I get like invited places, but like because like if I still lived in Evanston, then I would just go to like Vogue Knitting Chicago or whatever and just like roll up. Like I didn't get recognized the last time I did that, but I also only had the blog really at that point. I maybe had a couple videos, but I didn't have like, I don't know. I feel like it's different when it's writing versus video, you know? Oh yeah, I have totally forgotten how to, people. See, like, people have mentioned that like, oh, a ChemKnits retreat or something would be really, really cool. The thought of organizing something like that terrifies me. Because there's things that I'm good at, and then things that stress me out. And so that's something that, in theory, I would adore. But the ability to like make something go smoothly, and so that way everyone is safe and like, you know, and everything, just like, ah! But if I do go someplace that I'm planning and I'm going, I will try to like do some kind of unofficial like meetup or something. But yeah, I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna like, I mean, I don't drink coffee, but it could be like, hey, I'm gonna go get a coffee or cocoa, like maybe meet me there. But I don't, because I don't, you know, I think that numbers are reasonable, but yeah, I haven't gone anywhere in a long time, so I'm hoping, because originally I was going to try to go to like the New York Vogue Knitting Live in 2021, I think was a little bit of my plan. And so, I mean, I don't know, they changed something all around. I don't have plans to go somewhere in early 2023, but maybe in later 2023 I'll look into like traveling again. But what popped into my head? there was something that popped into my head that I was like, oh, that happened, and it'd be really, really, really funny. It doesn't have to be perfect. I've just heard too many like horror stories about people who try to like do a little like something and it like goes poorly. But no, it would work better if like I found like a partner to do all the organizing. The issue that I've also thought about like trying to do like local classes or anything is that I don't have like a space where I think it would work well, because like my studio's in my home, so I'm not going to have people in my home. And yeah, and so I've not thought super hard about any of that anyway, but I've thought about it, and I was like, even if I were to try to like sign up with like Vogue Knitting or Stitches or something as an instructor and apply to be an instructor, like if the conference is in a hotel, like, you know, you probably in like a convention room don't want to bring something super messy like dyes and worry about spills, and so those things were going through my head. But again, like, I really should sit down and make like a plan and pitch some ideas I've had versus continually just kicking them down the road again and again and again. I know event organizers are a thing. Ultimately also it's the introvert in me, and the fuzzy brain that I get sometimes. But it would be really, really fun. Like I think I would prefer to, like, if I was going to do something that's part of a bigger thing first, versus before trying to do something on my own, so I could see like, oh, what I liked, what I wished was different. But I've also like not gone anywhere in person with other yarny folk in so long. Like, so long. Because I would go to Chicago Vogue Knitting Live. We went to Stitches Midwest a couple of times. I never did classes there, but Keith would drive me the hour to go and just like check it out. Did we go once when Lucas was a baby? Maybe not. Maybe I just went pregnant. Maybe we were gonna go when Lucas was a baby, and so like Keith hung out with Lucas while I did it. You did your first sign in a convention center room, 20 people using a microwave. Super funny but good bonding. Okay, that's good to know. I mean, I should pitch it, but I also like, yeah. And I do know. I don't think I don't remember who exactly. I know someone who's done some things with solar dyeing outside at like markets and stuff. But I also like I've never run a booth ever of any kind. Okay, that's not true. I did run an organization called Kids for Trees in Bloomington, Indiana, probably between like 93 and 96. And so at the farmer's market, every Saturday I would set up a little booth and sell lemonade for 10 cents a glass to raise money for the Bloomington Tree Fund. And I don't know how I did this, how many weekends I actually did this, and how long I did this, but I think I only raised like $100 out of all these weekends. In many years. And then they wrote about me in the paper about it. Excuse me. But I had permission from like a museum to be on their front lawn. So that was my like booth at a market experience. Or a local makerspace, yeah. Are there more creative spaces? You know, Tara, I haven't looked into specifically artists that have spaces for hire. I've sometimes looked a little bit about like studio space to rent and haven't found much near me. Because like, again, I'd want something where I could like make a mess. I don't need a storefront. But I haven't looked like too seriously. I think that more, because there are so many benefits for me working out of the home as like also being able to default parent things. I think that like an addition or moving would be a more likely scenario than me trying to rent an independent filming space. Because that's the one downside of like a shared space. If I'm filming or streaming, then like having a shared space would be harder. Aw, Bloomington Farmers Market, yay! Yeah, I think the age range, it was somewhere in there, somewhere when I was like around 10. Somewhere, I was elementary school for sure. Elementary school for sure. You lived in Bloomington a couple decades before that? Yeah, I was there for some of the 80s and 90s. Yeah. And then I've lived lots of other places too. But yeah, I guess I have. How long was I in Midwest versus Massachusetts? I think Massachusetts counts for more years now. But 10 plus 5, so 15 plus 4. Oh, I think I just crossed the threshold. I think I've been in the Midwest for 19 years. And then Massachusetts 20. I was born here, so it feels legit to say I'm from Massachusetts. And my parents have now moved back here too. So I think, yeah, that's the simplest thing. But yeah, it was just funny because I was volunteering at the school book fair, and there was someone who like went to IU for college, and I mean she's my age, so we didn't overlap while I was there. And I was like, oh, I lived in Bloomington, Indiana for 10 years, and I think her response was, why? And I was like, because I was a kid. So that was really, really funny. But yeah, thank you all for listening to me ramble a little bit here. Just sharing some stories and like talking about, I don't know, like dreams and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where YouTube will go. It's a little scary with like seeing shorts promoted more and more because like, yeah, and it's just hard. It's a little scary, the direction that content is going, because I feel like I went through this once before when blogging used to be really, really hot, and then I noticed like YouTube was creeping up more, and so now I wonder, but I think it would be hard for me to like, I certainly would never be able to do an entire ChemKnits video in like under a minute. That would be way too hard. So like I'm not going anywhere, but it's just watching the tide turn makes me wonder what will happen. They hire spaces for classes, etc. for anyone with a creative business. Yeah, like I haven't looked too closely into like spaces for like teaching a class. I think most of my searching was so I could find a place where maybe I would be able to film. Oh, I have like a mini layout for like a filming studio in my brain. It would be wonderful. Excuse me. It would be so wonderful. I mean, the kitchen works, but I am currently sitting on the floor. I dream of a studio where I would have a desktop that would be permanently ready to go, wired into cameras, with a chair. I mean, we have part of the island. I could probably have the setup over there, but I don't know, this works. But having a better streaming setup would be nice someday. So it's fun to have dreams, but what I haven't done is like there's dreams and ideas, and it's more about like, how can I make this happen? So that is what I haven't done. But oh, I should see, because like part of me, like part of all of Dye Pot Weekly started because like I had this dream of a Kickstarter, and I talked about how I had an idea for a book, and then I didn't end up doing that, but then I was like, I should post on YouTube more regularly. So I did a Kickstarter to give me accountability to make me make it happen. But sometimes in like January they do like micro like big 100 projects, and I'm like, oh, it'd be really fun to like do something to push for like one big video that otherwise would be like more expensive to make, but as a fun way to like make it happen. And I've had like tiny ideas, but not really the idea of how to logistically make it work. But I do have ideas, so yeah. But I also don't have any firm plans for anything like that. And so like every January I'm like, oh yeah, I should have like thought about that and worked on that. And then the next January approaches and I'm like, well, I never did anything with that. I dream of that sitting on the floor one day. Dream big, Rebecca. I mean, this is why sometimes I would sit in the front hall, but it's also because like, where will the background not be too cluttered? Because that's part of it. But I don't mind horribly. It's just, yeah, sometimes when I'm getting up and down, then I'm like, okay, my 39-year-old back is starting to show. I'm hearing it creak, but right now it's feeling fine. So, but anyway, I didn't want to check because I did hear my Etsy. Oh, yay! Yay, thank you to you who you know who you are who bought a sampler. There are now only 2 left. I forgot I titled this Yarn Everything Live. Yarn Everything, and then I wish if YouTube titles could be a paragraph, it's like Yarn Everything Live, where Rebecca shares some stories about her experiences with KnitCrate, dyes some yarn, and then rambles for an hour about nothing in particular. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I think I'm going to head out because I should clean up. And is there anything else on the list for today? I don't think so. I think I've done pretty well for today. Although I suppose I will have to make dinner. Oh, and we just bought a car, which is yay, new car, but new car. I think the car we replaced was like 14 years old or something, so. But our other car is like almost 12. So I'm like, oh no. Oh gosh. It needed to happen though. But yeah, this was really, really fun. And especially because I think this is potentially one of the last big live streams of the year. Sometime next week I'll do the Patreon behind the scenes live stream while I'm filming for an episode of Dye Pot Weekly. That's also available to postdoc channel members. But I do have a whole video, or I definitely have a post on Patreon as well that explains the difference between channel membership perks and Patreon perks. But people can always ask and I can try to answer. I'm really behind responding to comments. I hope to get to the last like week or so of comments soonish. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. And yeah, but Hanukkah starts on Sunday. So make sure you guys subscribe with your notifications on so you don't miss the videos. And I'll be in the live chat like probably a couple minutes before they start. The first night, and I'll be posting again on my blog when I will and won't be able to be there. The first night I may not be able to be there the whole time. It depends. I probably will be able to be there, but the second night for sure I'll be there. So you keep debating new car thing too. Yeah. no car payment was nice. And it's like, please, let's not destroy this car right away. Not that the old one was destroyed, but we upgraded from a Mini Cooper to a minivan. So we have space for growing children now, who we all barely fit in the other car. But it was a good commuting car for Keith. But your first guess, oh yeah, Ruth, I love your guesses. I can't even remember what night one's video is anymore. I just edited 6 and 7. I finished editing those today. So that's where my head is at. Oh, I remember night one now. Okay. I was like, wait, which one was first? Because then I was also looking at the way I titled things from last year, so I've been all confused. I have like all my minis labeled with the numbers so that way I can keep it track in my head. Because that's the way I've been. But yeah, the the Mini Cooper used to belong to my mother-in-law, and it was offered to us many times, and I was like, oh, but we're gonna have kids at some point, thinking like, and then it was offered to us again when like we're like, okay, yes, we need a second car. So, but yeah, it's not a family car. It worked, but it's a bit of a squeeze. And so the new one, I just have to practice. I'm a nervous driver, so realizing that eventually this minivan is going to be the car that I drive, and so I'm like, oh, I gotta do it. But anyway, I'm headed out. Thank you so much for watching, and I guess I will try to have the November recap. Oh gosh, when? I don't know when. I'll try to get through Hanukkah, and maybe that recap will be up in January. Oh, and there will be a Dye Pop PS video still this month, which I have to film. That's next week's problem. This week's problem is getting ready for the launch of Hanukkah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!